Pascal Hamelin, mining engineer, over 30 years experience. The majority of it in the Abitibi Greenstone. There will be some forward-looking statement in this presentation, so I invite you to read this at your leisure. So why invest in Abcourt? First, we're in the gold. We're in Quebec, so it's an important aspect of it. We have many deposits. We own a mill. We own an operating mill, fully permitted, 750 tons a day with the tilling facility. The mill was in operation until August 1st, 2022. Presently, we're still recovering gold from the mill, so we're generating cash flow from the mill cleanup. And we're between two projects. We were producing from the Elder Mine. We're producers. We generated cash flow last year and this year again. The Elder Mine is in Rwanda. We put it on care. The reserve got depleted. We put it on care and maintenance. There's still resource, but it's back to an exploration play. Now we own the Sleeping Giant mine. We own the Sleeping Giant mill. And we have reserve at the Sleeping Giant mine. So right now, our focus is on getting the Sleeping Giant mine going. Second thing is we're also very active in the camp. We're there. We're present. So we saw an opportunity to acquire a smaller company, Pershimex. So we made an offer at the end of the summer. We're presently in the due diligence, and we're targeting before the end of the year to complete the acquisition. Pershimex Corporation's got the Pershing Manitou deposit. It's an early stage deposit, but with revenue coming on very soon because they got the permit for a bulk sample already. Good grade, over 7 grams, 5,000 tons, and it's a market cap of $3 million with revenue coming up. It's like doing a private placement with this acquisition. Also, the Sleeping Giant mine, it's a high-grade deposit. It's right there underneath the mill. So, and short time to get it in production. The mine's been on care and maintenance. It's maintained. So we're going to get in production within a year with this deposit. Management team, well, it starts with myself. President, CEO, mining engineer again, over 30 years. But right now we're building the technical team at Sleeping Giant Mine. So that's our focus. So we got chief engineer, chief geo. We just hired the team of geologists working for the chief geologist. So the horse will be in front of the cart. The board's got participation in the Abcourt. The board owns 36% of the shares. So they're active. Well-versed. We got technical people. We got geologists, accounting, lawyers. So it's well-versed board. Our properties. So number one, on the north, you see that's where our Sleeping Giant mine is located. Our gold assets are in mid-north, I would say, 80 kilometers north of the town of Amos. So about 160 kilometers north of Val-d'Or. That's where our mill is located and our property. We also own base metal, zinc, about 60 kilometers north of Val-d'Or. The Barview deposit, which is number 3 on this, the green circle, and the Vendôme property just west of the town of Barreau. The Pershimex assets, they're 13. The main asset, the Pershing Manitou deposit, is number 13. The plan with this acquisition is to process the bulk sample at the Sleeping Giant mill in 2023. So what is Sleeping Giant mine? It's a narrow vein, high-grade deposit. Historically, the head grade to the mill was over 11. It was close to 11 grams per ton. Close to 1 million ounces was already extracted from the Sleeping Giant mine, and we believe there's more to extract. Right now, There's close to 200,000 ounces, all categories in the resource, and we have 85,000 ounces of reserve at the Sleeping Giant. How do we increase that? Well, we have over 1 million meters of drilling that was never put in a 3D model with orphan intercept everywhere. So what we did is, in June, we mandated Explo from Val-d'Or, independent consultant, to do a 3D model. So we're using modern technique. We're providing the proper tool to the geo, and we're going to have the resource out maybe before the end of the year, for sure in Q1 2023. So, and we expect it's going to be way more than this. So, high grade, it was in operation from 87 to 2014, on and off, but Cambior operated it. The majority of the ounces came from in the late 90s, early 90s, so when gold was not at the current metal price. Fully permitted again. The mill was functioning until August 1st. We're still producing gold from the mill right now. Actually, we poured doré again this morning. So it's not accounted for, but you'll see in our financial, the upcoming financial of September 30th and December 31st. Our plan is to get this Sleeping Giant mine up and running very quick. That's why right now we're in discussion with different financial partners to get that mine in operation. We did a technical study in 2019, so I invite you to check it out on CEDAR. But you're looking at OPEX around $175 a ton. So cash costs US of $700. So with COVID, we know what happened to the cost. So you could expect something maybe in the $1,200 range, but gold's at $2,300. So that gives you good margin. On top of that, Sleeping Giant's got a lot of exploration potential. It's a complex deposit. That's why we're starting with a 3D model. And then we're going to do infill drilling and extension drilling on the deposit. As an example, you see this yellow ellipse? The red dots that you see on this drawing is over 64 grams per ton. So it's high grade. And there's a lot of orphan intercept. This is just on one level. This is a clip at 600 level, I believe, 665. So it's, you have that right from surface all the way down to 1,000 meter. So a lot of potential with this deposit. Now, that's not our only deposit. We have, in the pipeline, we have other assets. For example, we have Discovery Flordin, which is about 80 kilometers east of the Sleeping Giant mill. So it's 35 kilometers north of the town of La Belle-sur-Quivillon. It's part of Plan Nord. It's north of the 49 parallel. And it's got historical resource of close to 800,000 ounces. So what we're doing with this is we're going to put the geologists at work. We're going to update the resource, put it in the 2022 format, and we're going to have a resource estimate out in 2023 for that for those two deposits. Discovery in Flordin, two separate deposits, 6 kilometers apart. One is Discovery is an underground high-grade subvertical deposit, and you got the Flordin deposit, which is an open pit beside it, 6 kilometers away. Now, I mentioned earlier we have zinc asset. So the Barview deposit was a mine in the 50s. So the grade that you see there on the reserve and the resource are 43-101, of course, but they're very close to the head grade that was mined back in the 50s. Barview there's an open pit there. There's some infrastructure already in place. Now it's to get it developed and get it going. But for us, the focus is on the Sleeping Giant mine and the gold assets. So the zinc, we're looking at either sell or spin out, but that's going to happen within 2 years. We're not going to sit on it forever. Now, Perchimex. Perchimex, it's an all-share transaction. We're planning to have that. We did the LOI. There's a binding to it. We're working towards a definitive agreement, and we're targeting the end of the year to complete the transaction. So, and the reason we're doing this is for the Pershing-Manitou deposit. Pershing-Manitou, again, high grade, right on surface. They already extracted the 5,000 tons. It's sitting there. There's a lot of gold in it. So the plan is to process that in the Sleeping Giant mill. I'll let you read this. But Perchimex got no debt and cash. So for us, it's very attractive. And same camp as us. So there's synergy, there's potential there, and to feed also our mill in the long term. Pershing-Manitou is also open at depth. So the plan in the long term is to do drilling to increase the resource. There's a 43-101 that was published in 2021, late 2021. 2,000 ounces. It's a small deposit, but it needs drilling. So the plan is to drill it and do a resource update. So again, our objective in the short term, get the Sleeping Giant mine up and going, complete the 3D model, which we're doing right now. We started, the mineral envelopes are all completed. The geostats are done. So right now it's the interpolation the geologists are doing. So the model is advancing very well and very promising. We're going to have a Sleeping Giant. We're going to have a revised resource. We're going to have new resource at Flordin and Discovery. We're going to complete the acquisition of Perchimex. So we're going to be very busy in the short and midterm. So you look at us. Right now, it's a very cheap stock to buy. Like we're at a market cap of $14 million, and we own a mill, an operating mill, permitted, that's producing gold. So right now, you don't have those bargains out there. So again, we're in Quebec, where we got gold, and it's going to be producing very quickly. Thank you.